I too am very glad to get the chance to talk on this very important matter. And I have met midwives, I've met nurses, doctors have spoken to me, GPs, who are very concerned about this. And it's clear, Minister, the way you're rushing through this, no pre-legislative scrutiny, and the way we're being, we'll say, criticised here inside for talking on behalf of all the different amendments, the few different amendments that we had there, and I suppose we'll get criticised for talking about this as well. To see what I see wrong at it, Minister, is you're saying that that people, that the medical profession will have to refer on people. Well, that's where the bother is. And if you were so sure that you could provide the service and that you had enough GPs, enough midwives, enough nurses, and all the other healthcare officials, that you had enough of them signed up to provide this abortion service, there would be no need of forcing or bullying people into doing what they conscientiously object to doing. And you see, I met a number of midwives, and a few of them over across in Boswells where they came in to meet us, and they were actually crying because there was two of them together on a particular day. They were saying they loved their job. They got educated in the task of saving lives and mending people and performing births and ensuring that the baby lived. And now all of a sudden they're being forced to turn around because you haven't taken the time to organise teams around the country that will carry out the abortion without being forced to refer on people. And that's wrong, Minister. And it is right, and you needn't shake your head at all, because what I'm telling you is right. If you took proper time to talk to the doctors, but a week ago you hadn't talked to very many of them, I don't know how many you've talked to now, but that left it very late to start a service at the start of January, because in another couple of weeks, and even though your Taoiseach said that was trying to blame healthcare officials for not operating or trying to deny them their right to have a holiday or to have a bit of time off during Christmas. Christmas is coming, and people do take a number of days off that they're entitled to after all the year. So that minimises the amount of time to start a proper service on the 1st of January. And if you are in a bind, of course, because you haven't people signed up, you haven't talked to them enough, and that is the truth. You needn't shake your head. We're after meeting the doctors, we're after meeting nurses, and the two nurses told me that they were really worried that if they'll refuse to participate, they'll come in on a Wednesday morning and there's so many normal births, and there's maybe 2 or 3 tops, what they call termination of pregnancy, and they're given their task for the day. If they refuse to do that, they feel that they'll be like the 2 nurses very recently in Scotland, who actually had to leave their job. They were forced to leave the job because they wouldn't do what they were being forced to do, and that's how serious they take it. And I mean, is it so that people who were brought up and taught how to protect life, to save life, bring life into the world, that all of a sudden they must be made do what they don't, they haven't the mind to do that? The current proposal has already been opposed by over 600 GPs, and many of them indicated they will not cooperate with a duty to refer for abortion. You have created a completely unnecessary showdown with doctors over a subsection of the bill that is in reality not practical. Even as a matter of pragmatism, the country cannot afford to lose a large number of GPs or midwives or nurses or healthcare officials because we don't have enough of them as it is. So if we're to lose any more, and our health service is in a disaster in Kerry, people have died because, and it's only come out today, because of the neglect of the HSE and providing a proper service for people in Kerry, and that it's in Kerry General Hospital. So then you're forcing people to press ahead, requiring doctors to make arrangements for women to access abortion against their deeply held beliefs. A legal challenge is inevitable and is very obvious if this matter is not corrected here in the bill, and that will delay the thing further, and that's what I believe is very, very possible. I'm asking you again, Minister, to set up a team that if you feel you have them, to carry out the service without bullying or forcing doctors, midwives, nurses or other healthcare officials into doing something that they were never trained to do in the first place, that they don't want to do now, or that they never will do.
Thank you, Deputy. Going to call the next.